Welcome to Unleashed. And don't forget to join us on Patreon for early access and exclusive content. Here are the guys.
Welcome to Unleash. I'm James. Hit subscribe, hit like.
Do it.
Hit that bell. Stay up to date. We talk Star Wars here, nonstop, long-form podcast style. If you want the shorter stuff, head over to Digital Charcuterie. That's where we give you the small little tidbits of info. But here we have a lot of fun podcast style. Today I want to talk about Skeleton Crew. Of course, this releases on December 3rd and is the upcoming Star Wars show on Disney Plus, the streaming series that has, I don't know if it has a lot of buzz or not. There hasn't been much marketing about it. We got a trailer. We had that EW magazine article, which I thought was kind of cool. Let us know about some of the pirates that are going to be in it. That we got Gunter, Pax, and Brutus, I think their names, and obviously Vane from Mandalorian, and somebody else I can't remember because I think they were like chopped in half in that article. But it looked cool. I think like this show for me is like exciting as a Star Wars fan. I'm like, this is like the Star Wars show. I don't want to say I've been waiting for, but this looks like Star Wars. It looks like peak Star Wars. But apparently I'm on an island all to myself thinking that this show looks like Star Wars. A lot of people are saying it looks too kiddish. It looks too cute. It's not going to be good. You know, Disney Star Wars is a train wreck. They can't do anything right. And you can't argue some of those facts. Obviously, Acolyte wasn't exactly, a hit. It was a swing and a miss for them on a lot of different levels. Skeleton Crew, I think, has a lot of weight on its shoulder. I talked about this the other day, I believe, on Five Line Casual. A lot hinders on the success of Skeleton Crew. Now, obviously, Skeleton Crew was greenlit and produced before a lot of this fallout, right? Obviously, there was a fallout of the films, obviously, but I think it happened somewhere. But it was before the fallout of Mandalorian Season 3, obviously, because Vane is a part of both of them. I don't think they saw how Mandalorian Season 3 was going to play, and now we have this show. So the question is this show going to live up to Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 hype that people like, or are we going to have another book of Boba Fett on our hands? Which, if you've been here for a little while, you know that I like the book of Boba Fett. But I also know that I'm one of 7 people. 2 or 3 of you are also here with me right now. But I like that show. But is this going to impact Star Wars the way it needs to for Disney right now? And I'm saying Disney, not Lucasfilm. And I know some of you are saying, well, it's Lucasfilm. But I'm saying Disney because this has to hit Disney levels. This is like beyond Lucasfilm. Disney needs a Star Wars hit. They need a successful Star Wars story. Because after this, they've now said only one show a year. And Mando and Grogu is coming out in 2026. And it looks fantastic. I don't care what anybody says. But they need Skeleton Crew to be a hit on every single level. And if it's not, it's going to be bad because the fan division is only going to grow higher and higher and bigger and wider. And eventually, there's going to be there's a couple of us diehards left being like, yeah, I like it. And maybe we don't even know why we like it anymore. We're just blindly liking Star Wars for the sake of it, which I would argue is not a bad thing. I think you're allowed to like something for just to like it because you like it and you're used to it and it's comfort food. We all like comfort food, and if Star Wars is your comfort food, more power to you. But Skeleton Crew has to be a hit. It's got the weight of the Death Star on its shoulders. If it is what people think it is, and it's just for kids, and it's not, and it has no meat to its bones, YouTube is going to explode. Those videos are going to skyrocket, and it's going to be Accolade 2.0. I don't think we're going to get there, though. I really have a lot of faith in this show. But let's look at what the Skeleton Crew needs to achieve and why it is so important for Star Wars and for Disney going forward.
I think it's a lost Jedi temple.
This series is not just another chapter in the expansive universe, but a potential turning point in how Disney addresses the needs and desires of older fans, many of whom have grown disillusioned with recent offerings. For those longtime followers, Star Wars is more than just a brand. It's a cultural phenomenon rooted in nostalgia, mythology, and a deep emotional connection to the original trilogy. One of the critical challenges for Skeleton Crew will be balancing the spirit of adventure with the elements that made the original Star Wars so timeless. Its themes of hope, camaraderie, and the journey of self-discovery set against a mythic backdrop. Older fans often seek stories that evoke those original feelings while still pushing boundaries in a thoughtful, innovative way. If Skeleton Crew can tap into the magic that made A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back classics while introducing new elements that don't feel forced or out of place, it could be a bridge between the old and new generations. And I think what they're going to do here is with the use of pirates, especially, but Jedi pirates. I believe Jude Law is going to be a Jedi pirate. I think they've done everything but explicitly said that to us. They've said he's a new type of Jedi. He clearly has his little pirate gun on his holster. He is a pirate Jedi. And I think his intentions aren't always going to be what they seem. I think he's going to be closer to Han Solo in A New Hope than Han Solo in Return of the Jedi. And I think even though his heart is in the right place, it's in the wrong place most of the time. And I think it's going to be a journey of self-discovery for Jude Law's Jod Nana Wood. Jod Nana Wood. I think it's going to be his journey of self-discovery. But this also leads us to some of the leaks that we've been getting. We've been hearing things like the main plot of this is the planet that the kids live on, the suburban plot, that there's actually a big Imperial base on this plot. And what the pirates are after coincides with that planet, and Jude Law especially wants to get on that planet. What's on that planet, or what Jude Law and the pirates are after, remains to be seen. We'll get to that in just a little bit, I swear. What makes this even more critical is Disney's history with the franchise, particularly how the sequel trilogy divided fans. Many felt that corporate interests overshadowed storytelling, and some of the core ethos of Star Wars was lost in favor of spectacle and mass appeal. Skeleton Crew has the chance to course correct by demonstrating that Disney is listening, respecting fan feedback and delivering content that pays homage to the original essence of Star Wars. And that's all fans want, is a return to the original essence of Star Wars. And I think that's why a lot of people say TFA, The Force Awakens, is their favorite, is because that movie really invoked that feeling of the original trilogy, of the essence of Star Wars. It made you feel like a kid again. Like in the theater, I smiled the whole time. I had my issues with the movie. There's a few things that still, I'm just like, why? Like some of the decisions in that is why I think, anyway. But it has this essence with this feeling to it. You're like, okay, I'm on board. I'm on this journey because it has the value and understanding of Star Wars to a degree, obviously. I think, again, there's things that happen, but you feel Star Wars in that. And I think fans want to go back to that feeling. And if a show like this can capture that and keep it, but also have a successful conclusion at the end, I think they're on the right track. But also, on top of all that, the show needs to feel relevant. While older fans long for the familiarity of what came before, it's equally important that Skeleton Crew offers something fresh to entice new viewers and prove that Star Wars still has a place in modern storytelling. The pressure here is immense. If Disney can manage to get it right with Skeleton Crew, it could signal a renewed trust between the company and the older fan base, leading to a renewed interest in future projects. And that's what's important here, is the renewed interest in future projects. I think it's kind of similar to the new DCU with James Gunn over at Warner Brothers. Is Superman, I guess it's just called Superman now, but Superman's going to come out and it's going to make whatever it's going to make, $300, $400, $500 million. It's not, I don't think it's going to blow this, it might make 6, 7, whatever, but it's not going to blow the socks off of the box office record books at all by any means. People aren't going to have faith in it. But if it's a good movie, people are going to talk about it, they're going to see it, they'll see it on streaming, they'll wait. But that's going to be the movie that's going to get you to say, okay, I've got to go see the next DC movie now. I gotta go see the next DC movie. I want to go see the next one. It's that important. It doesn't have to be the big box office success, but it has to be the one that engages you enough to make you say, the next one, I got to see the next one because that one was so good. Skeleton Crew's in the same boat. If Skeleton Crew is great, and it has, I don't think it'll have better numbers than Acolyte, because if it's great, it's easier to access than a movie in the theater if I'm comparing it to Superman. The ratings will stay even, right? Or maybe they'll go up weekly, but they'll hover around whatever they are. But if it's great, we're all going to say, hey, when's the next one? What's the next Star Wars show? Now, on the flip of that, we could also say, I don't trust it because I thought Mando 1 was great. I thought Mando 2 was great. I thought Andor was great. And then you put a bunch of stinkers in between there. That's not my opinion. I'm just saying that's how you could view it. So you could still not have the trust, but this could be a building block in that. So knock this one out of the park, knock Andor season 2 out of the park. Then you got Ahsoka. Make sure, like Ahsoka season 2, I think is this. If Skeleton Crew does its job, I think Andor is going to be fine, because I think the people that didn't like it, that thought it was boring, are going, and the people that did like it, I think everyone's going to kind of feel the same. I don't think it's going to lose fans. I don't think it's going to go the way of Mando season 3 and kind of do a completely different type of show. I think it's going to maintain what it was. So I think the fans that are fans are going to stick around for it, and we'll see how those ratings go. But then all the pressure's on Ahsoka, because now you got 1 hit, 2 hit, it's 3 strikes you're out. We're talking hits, but the third one's all that matters. Right? So boom, boom, boom. Ahsoka's got to be solid. Because after that, or maybe before, then you got the Mando and Grogu movie. So I don't know what's going to come out first. That Mando and Grogu, probably, actually. That could be the big one after. But all hinders on Skeleton Crew. I would even argue that some of the success of Mando and Grogu in the box office is dependent on how Skeleton Crew is received. Because if it is a bust, people will be like, I don't trust. I'll wait for streaming for Mando and Grogu. I'll wait for streaming, which I already feel that people might already. Though the budget is nice and low, so not going to have an issue there. But I do feel like people can be like, these are my Disney Plus peeps. Why am I going to go spend money at the theater to go when I can see these guys on my screen? That's one fear I have. But if Skeleton Crew is solid, there'll be renewed interest in the saga. You're going to be like, oh man, I want to see Star Wars again. Oh, that's in the theater? I want to see Star Wars in the theater on the big screen, and that'll get you busted seat. Mando and Grogu is another story, though. It's also got to hit the mark. But from what they've shown at D23, if you've lost faith in the Mando and Grogu movie because of season 3, because of what you thought of season 3, I don't know what to tell you. Because like, if you haven't seen that leaked footage, I mean, look, if you're like just like going to be negative on it, fine. But it looks sick. It looks like pure Star Wars fun. It looks like it's going to be engaging and it's very promising. And it's Mando and Grogu. They're such great characters. And I do have a question about like Grogu going back to Mando in the Book of Boba Fett. What was the actual plan for that? Because it happened after season 2. He goes to Book of Boba Fett, then comes back for season 3. Seems very quick. But Mando was always supposed to be 4 seasons. Well, so was he actually supposed to lose Grogu for good after season 2 and just be the Mandalorian after that? That's a question for another day. And I think getting the older fans comes down to what these Jedi pirate, well, the one Jedi pirate, maybe 2 Jedi pirate, but it's a Jedi pirate, and the pirates are seeking, whether or not it's on the kids' home planet, which rumors are that it's like an Imperial something for most of the planet, and they just live in like the suburban area. I kind of like the idea of these being the kids are like former Imperials, and they're just living on this planet with them in like Pleasantville. Like they're in Pleasantville, and they don't know what's going on around them. I kind of like that idea. But there's something going on, right? The pirates are after these kids. I did a speculation video about maybe there was a holocron involved. That's what they're going after. Let's have some fun on this, man. Let's bring the Star Wars fun back, Donald Glover. You got this. Let's talk about it. What could be on this planet? What could these kids have possession of? What could the pirates possibly want? And what would satisfy old fans and new fans? I'm not discrediting new fans. Don't get me wrong. They're very important. But the old fans are the ones that you bring them back in, you appease them. The new fans are going to love it. I'm telling you, man, you make a good Star Wars, new fans, old fans, we're all going to love it. Trust me. Pay me the big bucks. They could be looking for lost Jedi relics or temples. If you remember the trailer, they say, oh, is it a Jedi temple? Jedi temple?
I think it's a lost Jedi temple.
The homeworld could house ancient Jedi artifacts or a hidden temple. In the EU, planets like Ossus or Tython are steeped in Jedi history, home to priceless relics and secrets. Even in canon, we've seen remnants of the Jedi scattered across the galaxy. These relics could be immensely valuable to someone like a former Jedi seeking to reclaim lost knowledge, or to pirates looking to sell these treasures on the black market. Perhaps the hidden temple holds secrets of the Force, or maybe even holocrons, devices that store knowledge and teachings of the Jedi, highly coveted by both the Jedi and the Sith. Kyber crystals. Kyber crystals, which power lightsabers, have always been a hot commodity. Planets like Jeddah and were known for Kyber crystal deposits. If the children's planet contains such crystals, it could be extremely valuable for pirates, scavengers, and warlords trying to power weapons, or even a former Jedi trying to rebuild a lightsaber or regain connection to the Force. Pirates might be willing to exploit these resources, especially if they know how the crystals were once used by the Empire for the Death Star. Sith artifacts. If the planet has Imperial roots, it might also hold dark secrets, such as Sith relics. The Empire often worked alongside the Sith or sought their knowledge, so it's possible remnants of the Empire stored away Sith holocrons, talismans, or even dangerous weapons created using Sith alchemy. For a former Jedi who has turned to piracy, the allure of a Sith artifact could provide both profit and power, with the ability to use or sell these items to the highest bidder. Imperial treasure or weapons. Given the Imperial history of the planet, it might hold vast treasure troves or weapon caches left behind after the fall of the Empire. Pirates, and even a former Jedi, would be highly interested in acquiring powerful Imperial technology or credits that could fund future operations or offer them leverage against the other factions. Imagine finding a stockpile of AT-STs, TIE fighters, or even Star Destroyers ready to be reactivated. Such a find could easily allow a pirate to rise to the top of the underworld. Ties to Thrawn and the Chiss. Ties to Thrawn and the Chiss. Given the growing significance of Thrawn and the Chiss ascendancy in the current canon, the planet could be tied to Thrawn's larger strategy. Perhaps it serves as a hidden Imperial remnant base with connections to the Chiss. Jod Wood might want to discover this base to gain an upper hand in shifting galactic landscape, possibly selling the knowledge to factions like the New Republic or even the Grisk. In short, the homeworld could be key to unlocking any number of priceless treasures, artifacts, or secrets that would appeal to both a former Jedi, Jod Wood, who is seeking redemption, knowledge, or wealth, and a pirate eager for the biggest score of their life. Those are just some ideas I had. I have a few more, but those were the ones I wanted to bring up on this episode of Unleashed. I think this show is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see pirate action in space. It reminds me of a cartoon I loved as a kid. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for this show. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to Skeleton Crew? Do you think that any of these things that I mentioned are what's on this planet, or are, you know, the MacGuffin of the show, if you will? I'm not sure. I'm convinced with any of these, but I had a lot of fun putting this list together. I hope there's other things at hand. I'm hoping, and I'm working on a video about Luke's lightsaber, possibly. And this show, they're saying, you know, it's Stranger Things connections and Goonies connections. And what if it's a Princess Bride connection? Has anyone thought of that one? I have. I'm going to talk about that on another video. But for now, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching, everybody. Give us a like and a subscribe. And until next time, may the force of others be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.